Hi there, I'm Beth, and today I'm joining some of my friends for a fun springtime sewing pattern collaboration. We each have a copy of this tiny wardrobe book by HANON Satomi. We all agree that her clothes are adorable and her photography of them is super inspiring. We decided to each make the same outfit, this one, the lace dress, with the skirt underneath, and we're going to make them in both Neo and Middie Blythe sizes. I've already cut out my paper pattern pieces. I'll need the medium size pattern for Neo Blythe and the small pattern for the Middie Blythe. I've also got the skirt pieces cut out. I did very nearly start making the large size pattern, but luckily caught myself in time. I think making 2 of each outfit will keep me plenty busy this week, but another time I'd really like to make one of these cheeky foxes. I'm really happy to be joining in with another Dream Team collaboration. I can't wait to see what Marna from Dolls Rescued, Jay of J Dolls UK, and Peacecraft Dolls with Tammy Powley each come up with. I will have each of their channels tagged and linked in the video description below, so please be sure to check out their videos today too. I've chosen a couple of main fabrics to use, and we'll have to rummage for some trims later on too. I'll make the skirts from this loose muslin style red cotton fabric. I'll trace, fray check and cut out the pieces I need, as well as cutting some lining pieces too. I always end up using a white gel pen for dark coloured fabrics. I use it to mark the front and back pieces, as they're all slightly different. I'll apply fray check and let it dry fully before cutting out my pieces. While it dries, I'll start tracing the dress pattern too. I've chosen this really pretty cream lightweight fabric for the dress. It's got little dots and lines and is just a little bit crinkly. The skirts of each dress have a cutout section which will have another gathered piece inserted into it. Everything's dried and been cut out now, and I've only cut out one side of each bodice piece so far. Later, I'll be layering and sewing lace onto it before trimming, so this way seemed easier. I begin assembly by joining the skirt fronts and backs. The skirts are gathered with 2 rows of straight stitches and aligned with the outer waistband pieces. The instructions have us leave an overlap, which will help make the final closure nice and neat. Next, I'll sew in the lining side of the waistband. But first, I'll swap these pieces as I have them attached the wrong way round. That's better. Now I'll pin and sew them. I'll trim, flip and pin the seam allowance, then top stitch round the waistbands to finish them nicely. Next, the instructions have us sew the 2 ends and hem the skirt. Before closing right sides in and joining together. I sewed in some snap fastenings and some cute tiny buttons, and that's them both finished. It's recommended to soak them, scrunch them, and let them hang to dry. It really does make a huge difference to how doll clothes, especially with gathered skirts, end up sitting on the doll. I hung them up to dry overnight on these cute new hangers that I just received from AliExpress. They're dry now and look more relaxed and natural. It's time to start the dress bodices. I'll cover them each in lace pieces, attach the straps and sew in the linings too. Here's my lace trim box. I've got some nice small scale lace in here. If you struggle to find tiny lace, look for a wider one that can be cut down. This one is really wide, but it can be cut into lots of different types of smaller lace. Try it. I think I'll use some white and some cream coloured trims. I play around with different options before lightly gluing down the lace and then stitching them at the machine. Here they're both secured and you can see I left the outline visible on the reverse, so now I can trim away all the excess. I've laid on the straps and will enclose them with the lining, which will then be flipped to the inside. The bodice now gets top stitched. The midi and Neo bodices are ready and look so dainty. I hem the skirt pieces before gathering the inserts and sewing them into the spaces. We're told to add lace trim round these two edges, which looks really pretty. Now I'll gather the main skirts and join them to the bodices. I've tucked in the two sides of the skirts before sewing. Once attached, we flip the seam allowance up and top stitch across the bodice. I'll then stitch the sides and close in the back of the dresses. Now those are done, I'll attach snap fastenings and sew the loose ends of the shoulder straps to the dress too. Here they're completed, and again I can see how bouncy the skirts are. I'll soak them and hang them up to dry in a sunny window. I'm back again, and my dresses are dry. The skirts hang down much more now, making them look more in scale with the dolls too. I'm so pleased with how everything turned out. Here I've got my lovely models wearing just the dresses to begin with. My Middie Blythe, Dainty Meadow, wearing hers, and my translucent skinned Anniversary Blythe, Aurella Amphitrite. I think both dresses look beautiful on them, don't you? And here they both are, with their red skirts on underneath. They're such pretty skirts and will definitely be used again, as will the dresses. I love the little peak of red underneath the dresses. So what do you think of my final outfits? And have you tried any HANON sewing patterns yet? Let me say thank you to all my lovely supporters over on Patreon. I really appreciate having you all there. And a big thank you to my friends Jay, Tammy and Marna. I can't wait to see how each of their outfits came out. Please be sure to watch their videos and leave all of us some likes and lovely comments if you've enjoyed this collaboration. Thank you so much for watching. You're all amazing, and I'll see you again soon. Bye!